How are you? How's it going? I'm going to do a little story here about Goldilocks, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, three teddy boys. Yeah, it was written by Vincent Caprani, I think his father ran a fish and chip shop. He was a bit of an Italian abstraction, extraction with a name like Caprani, and all that, sounds like a bleeding motor to me, anyway. But anyway, it's a bit of Dublinese poetry, and I learnt this off the bill, Georgie Mullins of Taylor's Hall of Fame, and Liam Weldon and all that, Chris Lucas and the boys, Brian Malone, Sean Connors, the list is endless, Cormac McCarthy, Barry Dunn, the devil, he was there. And anyway, I learnt this little monologue of Georgie, and he's doing very well. Now, I'll just explain it because it's a little bit of Dublin poetry, and just for people who are outside of Dublin, they mightn't understand it. Now, a bird or a moth, that's a girl, like a moth attracted to the flame, you know what I mean? That's it. And the jacks, the house of wax, that's the toilet or the bathroom. That's those Americans, it sounds very posh, bathrooms and toilets and everything. But we have all those things over there. But anyway, this little story about Goldilocks hanging around the docks. And the teddy boys, they were like, do you remember the teddy boys, the rock and rolls with the hair slicked back, Old John Lennon used to fancy himself like that, bleeding shapers, strong shapes. They go into the bleeding cinema to see John Wayne move and he come out walking like this. Do you remember the head? He used to rob the meters, the gas meters. He'd put a shilling in the meter for the gas. They were specialists, type of thing, But, I was going to sing a song, but I won't. I won't sing out a song. It'll probably take too long. And no doubt you'll say it's all a pack of lies. So, I'll start my little rhyme with once upon a time there lived in Dublin town three teddy boys. Now the first was Gasman Peters, for he was always robbing meters, for this was his special line in crime. He could swipe a maiden's locket or pick a bishop's pocket while asking his reverence the time. His other pair of mates were two gurriers from the street. Now neither one never read nor wrote, for the only school they knew was a toss school near the zoo. Heads a bob, tanner half a note. Now one night they robbed the fridge in a house beyond Ballsbridge and they took it to a place called Abbey Fields. And the icebox it was hot, they flogged it to some mutt and they made a right few quid upon the deal. Now Gasman Pete says, that's great, we'll have to celebrate, so go around the flats and pass around the word. Say there'll be free drink for all to celebrate this hall and tell every bloke to bring along his board. So they heard O'Mara's lounge and the neighbours tried to scrounge an invitation to the swell affair. And half the flats was hooked in the hope of getting locked. I'm sure all the street was yearning to be there. Now up around Summerhill there lived this grand old trill, what could be termed a gamey sort of soul. For she was fond of wine and dining, and on her back reclining, and a divil for the jazz called rock and roll. Well, her name was Goldilocks, and she hung around the docks, waiting for the Yankees to arrive. For it was her well-known boast that them sailors paid the most, and all those Yanks were solid at the jive. Now, Goldilocks McCarthy had heard about the party, but as usual, she was running short of cash. She says, I think I'll chance me arm, saying, gate crashing is no harm. And I mean to say, it's always worth a bash. Now the do was in full swing when she gave the bell a ring. Sure, it was myself who opened up and let her in. And she'd a goo on for a jar. She headed straight to the bar. I'll have a sup of orange in me gin. Well, the do was really topping. There was singing and bebopping. And the boyos kept the gargle freely flowing. And in the middle of the hoolie, they snaked out for a poolie. And left their pints of porter all alone. Well, when they came back from the jacks, they stopped short in their tracks. Their vicious faces quickly drained the blood. For a sight had met their gaze, which left them in a daze. Upon the bar, three empty tumblers stood. Well, hate came to their eyes when it dawned upon the boys that someone was trying to come down. Up stepped Gasman Peters. Yes, lousy share of cheaters. I'll marbalise the culprit when he's found. Well, their eyes swept round the room and it seemed to spell out doom for all that was assembled there. Then they spied poor Goldilocks sitting on the orange box and they knew exactly where to place the blame. So you're the little bitch that tried to work the switch. We don't recall inviting you tonight. Going around acting swanky like your boyfriend's a Yankee. Would you like the stars and stripes across your face? Well, Goldilocks had guts, for she reared up on these nuts. I'd sooner have a yank than you shouting melts. Just lay a hand on me and I'll belt you with me knee. Try acting Marlon Brando somewhere else. Well, Jesus, I pity that poor child, for that really drove them wild. They picked her up and they milled her off the wall, and they dragged her round and round, and they threw her to the ground, and she tore her fishnet nylons in the fall. Oh, won't somebody save me from these bowsies, do not leave me, for they beat me for things I didn't do. And just as she was hoping, the feckin' door flew open, and in stepped a 6-foot bloke in navy blue. Oh, she, I'm glad, it's me heroic sailor lad, straight to the rescue from New York. Aaron, not at all, says he. I've come up from the lee. I've been transferred from the Gardaí down in Cork. Well, the mat was in a jam, and she didn't give a damn. She says, I'll see you right if you rescue me tonight, and I'll make it worth your while to leave me home. Well, the culture wasn't thick, and he copped on there real quick. He says, I heard these Dublin girls are flirts, but I heard they're damn good cures, and I mean to say, it's always worth a bash. So he grabbed himself a bench, and he says, unhand that wench, or I declare to Christ, I'll give you all a whack. Well, there was really nothing in it. It was over in a minute. He flattened our 3 boyers with one swing. And in the midst of consternation, he says, now to ring the station. 'Tis me duty to report this sort of thing. Well, that's about the lot. Except, of course, the ma. We don't see her around the flats anymore. So she married Guard McDermott, and they've a house in Ballyfermot, and they're raising up a gang of culty brats. And for their wicked life of crime, those Teds, they're doing time, breaking stones and cleaning prison delf. See, they never did find out who drank their pints of stout. See, the guilty one was none other than myself. 4 more points there, Jimmy. Thanks very much. No, yeah. Where are you going then? All right. To the Jakes. Okay. I'll see you when you get back. Okay. Good night.